Alrighty, Roo, and cuckoo choo to you, and all my nobodies not watching out there. I thought about this, and it's like, you know, the truest form of writing is writing to oneself. I feel like that's actually pretty true. Like, that, you know, that's mostly what I do, but when you don't write for an audience, you write the audience of you, and maybe not even the audience of you. Maybe you won't even read it. Maybe just to make the thing because you need it, like therapy, you know? Like, it's writing to oneself. It's writing for the individual for the purpose of writing and the sake of writing, not necessarily for anyone else, because it's the most honest and true form. Even if maybe you can't be honest with yourself, or you're worried that there will be an audience, or you might have the intent of possibly having an audience, that you're doing it for you, not necessarily for that or for them. I think that's the truest form of, like, I think that's actually a pretty cool thing to say. So yeah, I'm taking a screenshot of that just because I really like that. Some deep, that puts you, like, that's some good words, Team Master Yuri, and I like you, not just because your purple hair and your calm demeanor and your honesty, but that's like, that right there, that's some deep stuff. So I'm glad it took a second to think about that. Also, I needed to catch up with somebody, so I got back to it a little bit later because they're having stuff that was just funny, and they're playing a game, and it was just like, that's crazy. And I like to celebrate the weird moments in video games, and life, and all just weird moments. But I like that. That's good. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. That's really cool. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. See, now that kind of changes the thing, because it's like, now you're including other people, but it could still apply. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Because I thought this was the literature club, not the writing club, but that doesn't, but a lot of readers are writers. But not necessarily, you know, like a lot of people who love movies have no interest and can't act. You know, a lot of people who act aren't really that much into movies. You know, they just enjoy, or plays or musicals or whatever. They just enjoy the thing. Like, it doesn't always work on both levels. A lot of times it does overlap, but with writing, I think it helps to read a lot if you're gonna be a writer, because it's sort of like building up your arsenal, your vocabulary, your place to draw from. But life experience is also very valuable too. So reading helps writing more. Whereas being a good writer doesn't necessarily make you a better reader. I mean, I guess in the sense that, you know, if you're a good writer, then you can be like, well, this isn't very good to read because of these problems, and you can criticize it. But chances are it just seems like it helps to be yeah, those things are, yeah. Let me guess, she also does poetry, because that was some pretty deep stuff. Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example to help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. See? I like Monica. This is some very good leadership sort of thing to do and say. You know? Like, that's like, hey, there's not many of us. We have a new person, but we're all talking about this now, and I didn't even know this, and I've been working with you guys for ? Like, I have no idea how long this club has been going on. It's still a new club, but you get it. Like, trying to encourage other people to share their gifts, and it still fits in line with the literature aspect of it, especially if you're sharing your own writing, which becomes our literature to read. And yeah, she kind of sunk down and was like, ... Because again, it's very difficult and very personal to share one's writing, whether it's poetry or any kind. I guess it's the same for Yuri, is what I say, you know? That's okay. The suggestion it wasn't a bad suggestion. Because, you know, it's like, hey, at least, you know, both of them know they're not alone. And then Sayori is, oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems. And Sayori is helping kind of fuel the fire, but in a different way. You know, like, let's, no, support, positive, cheerleading, over here. Sayori says, go, Yuri, go, Natsuki, go, go, go. And that's cute, and her style. You guys are getting assaulted on both fronts with very low-key peer pressure of love and support and acceptance to try to overcome your insecurities, and I think that's cool. This seems like a good club so far. And then we all sit in silence for a moment. Great. But is it an awkward silence or a comfortable silence or one of the silences that you don't know how to define? And Monika's just like, okay, I have an idea, everyone. Like, either we're moving on, or we are not moving on. It seems like because the characters that popped up, we're not moving on. We're sticking on to their writing thing. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Nani? Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. That's, again, as a leader, as you know, the group president, club president, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, so that the two of you don't feel alone, other than just the two of you. You two have shared something now, because you both are writers of poetry, particularly, it seems. I don't know that Yuri said specifically poetry, but I feel like it was implied, if it wasn't directly said. And if everybody writes a poem, whether we're writers or poets or not, and we all come together and share them, that's, you know, us all doing something together and being like that. And they have a sort of edge in the sense that they already do that, and the rest of us have to kind of struggle to make one at all. So whatever we make is likely to be pretty trash compared to what they've been doing, regardless of what they think of their own work. It's win frickin' win, baby. That's pretty smart, Monika. I like that. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. Gives us a little homework. It lets us all know, think about it, helps us to learn ourselves as people, learn about each other from their work, and also sort of see from the perspective of those who are writing and feel uncomfortable about sharing it. If she can get everybody to do it, then it's like that's good leadership. It might be pushing the boundaries, but if it brings people out of the shell and helps the group to grow and accept and learn, and who knows, it could totally change the trajectory of these people's individual actions and lives by having them open up and be more comfortable with being vulnerable. That way everyone is even. See, exactly. Monika gets it. I think that's a good idea. And Natsuki is like, and Yuri's just like, so it does seem like she's sort of steamrolling them and they're sort of outvoted. But the reality is, if Monika says, we're all gonna do this, and Monika, Neighbor Girl, and me, and I, all go home and write poems, good or bad as they may be, and choose to share them, they can still choose not to share theirs. You know, the two of them, if they're just uncomfortable. You know, let them go last. And, you know, I feel like it's okay if you choose not to. That's fine. But we gave you the opportunity and did everything we could to sort of put us all on the same playing field, even though you obviously have the advantage. And this is a sort of way to kind of like, you know, open up. And Sayori's just like, yeah, let's do it! Let's fucking go! Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. See, bam. Things I've already said, but are very logical. That's not like a prediction thing. That's not like when I predict a reference or I say, you know, that's just logic. And my logic, miss you, buddy. Isn't that right, Technique? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. It's again, I was already seemingly smitten with her because we shared a class together. She was like the cool girl, and I'm just like, wow, surrounded by all these hotties. And I guess that includes my childhood friend who is exasperating, but, you know, when you put her with all these other girls, it's like, wow, they're all super cute. Huh. Kind of changes things. Hold on. There's still one problem. What's that? My guy's gonna be like, I have no idea how to write a poem. I don't even know. Like, I'm not even sure I know what poetry is. Also, I didn't say I was gonna join this club. I haven't even got to check out the anime. It's like, oh, you're joining, buddy. It's already done. You ate the cupcake. The cupcakes are a contract. Cupcakes are for closers. It's for club members only. Once you bit into that cupcake, it was done. It's sealed. You sold your soul for a cupcake, son. Welcome to the crew. I call them the crew. So I've heard. Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. All of you are super hot, and I'm the only guy here. Does no one see the harem aspect of this? That's not what he's gonna say. I never said I would join this club! Exclamation point. This is gonna be met with less than positive response. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made a decision. Fucking little pink over here is just gonna be like, you ate the cupcake. My cupcake. And they're just gonna like attack me individually and wear me down. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. Oh, they're all looking directly at me in a manner that it's like, don't look at me like that. Times 4. With all sorts of different forms of peer pressure and whatever happening. Like, look at those faces. How do you say no? All 4 girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Like, I'm trying to think of it like, dude, if you don't, they're going to be like really hurt and you're going to feel like a jerk, even if you come back later and join them after looking at clubs. Because that's, I don't know. I'm not trying to, I don't want to come up with like, it seems like a dating analogy is appropriate here, and I'm not going to try to do that. But each one of them will be individually hurt because I feel like they all tried to make you feel welcome in their own way. Tried to encourage you to stay, have a reason, and opened up, and to just sort of like, I might be back later, no promises, bye-bye. That will just be like detrimental to their egos and their feeling of self-worth and identities. Not that you're that important, but because it would be rough for... It's not you, but you are a factor. But it's more like they all tried really hard to get this new member, want a new member, and they tried and, like, ouch. Aw, you made Monica sad. She's like, but... And then you're... Oh, God! Oh, God, this is gonna be like... Each one is just gonna drop down like a sad little piston or a cylinder, just... And I'm just gonna have to get hurt by each one. And she's like, I'm gonna make myself somehow even shorter. And say oi! With the final word, the last twist of the knife there. Tat. And it's just like, you all... you already fucked up, dude. I'm defenseless against these girls. No. Like, if they really wanted to, like, make this worse, they could have. It's that each of them is willing to accept that you have that right. You could choose not to. I make a good point, a fair point. I never said I would stay. I said I would come by. I got volunteered for this against my consent, and I said I would come by. I fulfilled my obligation, and this was the first place I went. I should also have the opportunity to look into the other clubs. Even if yours is a new, small club that desperately needs new members, it's not fair for me to just have to be pushed into it. But they could have, like, gone harder about, like, trying to convince me. Instead, they all just quietly, sadly reacted. And that's mature and such, and it's just more hurtful in a sense that it's like, it's more personal, I guess. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I mean, I get you. I would say this from an anime watcher's perspective. I would say, well, you get the benefit that there's only 4 of them, so you don't have the full harem going on. Although, I guess there's plenty of harems that are like 3, or, they're just 3. Otherwise, it's a triangle, it's not the same. But you can have 3, and 4 is still kind of small for a harem, but totally possible. And you just met them today. But it's like, and also in your defense to help kind of be like, you have, like, it's not gonna be that hard. It's like, they're all really, like, their blazers or jackets or whatever are tight. Their skirts are overly animated and short, but really not much is actually being shown other than their figures to some degree. And they're all super cute, but it's not like you're being seduced here. It's more like a social thing, as opposed to a sexual thing. So, it could be harder, but, I mean, I'm on rails anyway, it doesn't really matter. But if you stay and do the poem thing, those two are likely to be more inclined to to share one of their poems, or write one, and share it. And I think that's a good thing to do, and that'll help them. But I see both sides of the argument. That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Oh, see, he's already sold. Right. Okay, I've decided then. Oh! You all just saying a tiny little sad reaction and changing your expression and going from staring intently to sort of averting your gaze and dropping down and losing positive countenance. And all blushing that you, like, tried so hard and now you're, like, sad and confused, and yeah. I'll join the literature club. And then there was much rejoicing as that we ate Robin's minstrels. They all popped up. You see how one by one the girls' eyes light up. It didn't happen one by one. They all did it simultaneously in unison. They all, unless they want to do animation for each of the eyes, which I don't think they're going to. They just made their eyes all focus on me again and like basically revert to the past position. But I would have appreciated the light up animation, like a little ting, a little glimmer, a little something, rather than just looking back at me and raising the character sprites up 2 inches or whatever. Sayori, yes, I'm so happy. She's like, I win. Ha 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 ha. I win. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down, very Sayori-like, and she and I are more comfortable because we've known each other for a while, so I'd probably be embarrassed, but it's like not different from her. Hey! And then she just grows outside, like her head is outside the frame. You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Look, I came because I was volunteered for it, and I did say that I would try to be part of a club, and then that became a promise weaseled out of me, and then it was like, before I could even get to any of the other clubs, Sayori just like cut me off and was like, you should try our club first, there's cupcakes. Come to the dark side, we have cookies. It's made of fucking cookies! Fucking cookies! Anyway. Then, that makes it official. Okay, and seal of approval stamped, done, deal. You cannot get out now. Welcome to the Literature Club. I like how her hair is covering up Miss Shodi over here, and she's in like sort of an angry mood, but she was already in that sort of annoyed face. But it's sort of more complicated than that. But the hair in her face like makes it better, I guess, somehow. Thanks, I guess. Well, I kind of got stuck with it, stuffed into it, but you know, it's a game. You're getting railroaded, and oh my god, woe is you. You're gonna be spending time with these 4 beautiful women who honestly seem pretty cool in their own way each. And they were obviously disappointed if you didn't stick around. Now, whether that's because of you as a person or you as a member doesn't really matter. I mean, it does, but come on. I'm just gonna say, it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Knowing that this game gave us a warning at the very beginning of it that people with this depression and anxiety could have not a fun time. So yeah, just yeah, whatever. YOLO, right? Whatever. It's like, let's go, let's fucking go. Or, well, you know, so it goes. Okay, everyone. I think that with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. It's like, let's end it before he has the opportunity to change his mind. And then she's going to be like, Sayori, I need to talk to you. Don't let him bitch out. You got him here. You keep him here. Don't let him change his mind. No takesy backsies. Got it? I'm sure that's your special mission. Everyone remembers tonight's assignment. So that's tonight. Like, are we meeting tomorrow? Like, how often do we meet? Write a poem and bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. And let's reinforce the circumstance. Technique. I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. It's pretty light. Could have been worse. But it's a good way to fit that. And then the cute giggle. Cool. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? Are they mediocre? Because that's not too bad. If you can just be mediocre at it, that would probably be okay. Or are you overestimating your abilities? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Whee! Meanwhile, the girls continued to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Tak, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? It's like, I mean, it kind of makes sense unless there's some reason not to. We do live in the same neighborhood. And, you know, surprise, surprise, you didn't somehow, you know, sleep in. So, you know, that's right. Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Oh, I don't know, man. I can't tell if she's just like, everything's coming up Millhouse, or if she's playing 5D chess with you, man. Like, everything does seem to be coming in her favor, so sure, might as well. Yeah, okay, great. Yay! With that, the two of us depart to the club room and make our way home. This seems like a good moment to stop because there'll be a conversation, and I had to talk about poetry and social manipulation, peer pressure, and, you know, selling your soul for a cupcake. I'll be back in a second.